Just how messed up is the Ant King? He didn't even wait to be born the natural way. He tore straight through the queen's stomach from the inside, forced his way out by ripping her open. As the queen let out agonizing screams, the top commanders all rushed over to see what was happening. There was a stranger standing next to the queen, and that stranger was the Chimera Ant King. The very first thing the king did after being born was order his commanders to go get him something to eat. The doctor rushed over, took one look at the queen's severe injuries, and sprinted toward her. But in the next second, the king killed him on the spot. While his subordinates were still frozen in shock, the king issued the order again: find food. Colt stood nearby, completely blank-faced. The king told him to wipe his tail clean, to break the awkward tension. The old turtle stepped up and volunteered. He had no idea just how cold-blooded the king truly was. In the blink of an eye, his head was separated from his body. Faced with a king of overwhelming power, Colt had no choice but to obey. He carefully and gently wiped the tail clean, but when he looked up, what he saw next shook him to his core. The king was eating the corpse of one of his own kind, and his only comment was that it tasted awful. That sight sent every commander spiraling into panic. Just as the king looked ready to explode in rage, the king's 3 personal guards showed up right on time. The cat girl announced that food had already been prepared for him, so the king walked off with the 3 guards. Once he was gone, everyone rushed to check on the queen. Her condition was devastating. The blood loss was extreme, and multiple organs had been critically damaged. Normal medical treatment had no chance of saving her. Watching the queen barely clinging to life, Colt couldn't bring himself to just let her die. He decided to go ask the cat girl for help, but the cat girl's response was ice cold. Now that the king had been born, the queen had absolutely no value left, so whether she lived or died was none of her concern. Colt was on his own. Meanwhile, the king was in no mood to wait for his meal. He punched clean through a solid wall with a single fist, then used his tail as a boost, and scaled to the top of the mountain with ease. As he stood there looking down over the human world, he spotted Colt flying out of the nest, searching for help, but the king didn't stop him. After tasting the food the cat girl had prepared, the king said it straight. It was terrible, not even close to what he had eaten inside the queen's womb. That was the only flavor he wanted again. Hearing this, the cat girl immediately understood. What the king was describing was a human nin user, determined to taste that flavor one more time. The king decided to pay a human village a visit himself. The poor villagers never even got a clear look at his face before they were wiped out without mercy. Not even the little girl nearby was spared, but after tasting them, the king was still unsatisfied. He whipped the cat girl across the face with his tail. What he didn't expect was that her defense completely caught him off guard. The cat girl then made a suggestion. She told the king to visit the human palace, because that was where the king of humans resided. The king's interest was instantly sparked. At the same time, Colt made his way to the human camp and delivered the news to Morel that the Chimera Ant King had arrived. In return, the Hunter Association sent in their top medical team to try to save the dying queen, but the queen was already on the edge of death. Even so, she still worried about whether her premature child was alright. Her only regret in those final moments was never getting to see her child with her own eyes. Before she passed, she gave the king a name, Moruum. It meant the light that illuminates all. And with that, she died. Colt was absolutely devastated. But just then, he noticed a faint new life sign stirring inside the queen's body. He reached in carefully and gently pulled it out. What he found was a baby, smaller than his thumb.